I think narcissists love to be a therapist because they can study a person's mind so much. They love that. Yeah, I would say like what is it? It's not the communal. There's one that's more like based on like intelligence. Do they tell the new supply about you? Yeah, a lot of times it's a good way to like prep the new supply to be able to be aware of like when you show up on the doorstep looking crazy. Okay, they've already like prepped it. Do all narcissists cheats? Yeah, all narcissists cheat. Okay, emotionally, mentally, physically. They cheat you out of your dreams, out of your relationship. Like they lie to you. When you come up with like the definition of a cheater, like it's not like, oh, I did this to another person. It's someone who's lying to you. Like, that's all a narcissist is doing is they're just lying to you to be able to get what they want in the moment. Okay, but yeah, as I say, all narcissists cheat every single time. My ex narcissist discarded me 8 months ago, blocked me everywhere, and ghosted. Why have they not hoovered me? Is that not always a thing? So it typically always is a thing, but you have to understand because part of your question is leaning towards the direction of like, they didn't hoover me, so they must not have cared. You need to understand the narcissist never cared about you to start off with. A hoover does not mean care. Hoover means control. So when a narcissist tries to hoover you back, it means they're trying to get you back on the shelf to be their toy so they can control you once and for all. Okay, so you need to be careful of that. Yes, goes to therapy, but nothing changes behavior wise. It's like he goes, just take a box. Yeah, 100%. If you got a narcissist that's going to therapy, or a lot of nurses that have gone to therapy for a long period of time and nothing's changing, that means it's not working, y'all. So that you need to leave. Because if you don't see change behavior, there is no change actually happening. It tells me I don't live in reality when I express my emotions because a narcissist can't handle your emotions. They don't want to deal with it. For a narcissist, it's hard to be able to create any type of space. It's still hard for me. Like, it's not like I can like do this like instantly. There's a couple topics that like my wife has that if she has to express her emotions, is very extremely hard for me to create space. That's one of the things I'm like working on. Of like I have to be able to create space for like when she actually has those emotions. A lot of times a narcissist can't do that because it's too difficult. It's like, I don't want to take on your emotions. I don't want to deal with that. That stuff I already like sedated and pushed and hid down. I don't want to deal with it because your emotions end up being an inconvenience. What's your advice on dealing with narcissistic women? Same as narcissistic men. Block, go no contact, run away. Why cheat and put blame of you cheating? Because they don't want to deal with them themselves and it has to be someone else's fault. Does hoovering stop when they know that you're onto them? Nope. A lot of times it just gets worse. So you need to block, go no contact, and ignore any hoovers. What's the narcissistic preferred way to abuse? Financial or emotional? Anything. It doesn't really matter. Anything's on the table because they don't follow the same rules. Hard time figuring out if he's narcissistic or he has bipolar disorder. So take both of them off the table and only go off of actions. What does action say? How does he demonstrate love? How does he demonstrate care? How does he demonstrate respect? How does he demonstrate honesty? If you can't actually find things that are actually demonstrated in the relationship, then it doesn't matter if the person's a narcissist, bipolar, borderline, sociopath, or healthy. If they're not actually doing those things that's actually working in the relationship, you shouldn't be in the relationship. So you're saying if they don't hoover you anymore, they lost control over you. Could be in that moment they don't care to control you. But if you still have them open to hoover, then they still haven't lost control. Okay. So a big part is like you have to make sure that you're actually blocking. Like you have to be the one that's responsible for actually blocking the narcissist. They're not going to block you. And if they block you, a lot of times it still is a power move. If I block you first, that means I can unblock you anytime. It means I can come back into your life anytime. Got a video on YouTube. I know you can search where you can actually block them, and TikTok and YouTube and Instagram. You can go in and you can block them even if you're already blocked because it's helpful so that you don't have a person that has access to you. Now, you probably talked a lot about your program. So is it a 7 days and then there's something else or idea to put in practice that have been learned in the 7 days program? So the 7-day program, so escapetoxicity.com, the 7-day program is to help you understand narcissistic abuse. Okay. So it's helping you understand who is the narcissist, what is reactive abuse? Are you the abuser? What's actually going on there? Like the first initial like hard truths that you have to understand, you have to walk you through some of those, walks you through some of the trauma bond, it walks you through I said the reactive abuse. It walks you through the guilt and the shame of like what you're actually dealing with. Okay. But it doesn't have the time to go super far in depth of how we actually rewire the story of you like every single day, like working with you. So Clarity Challenge, claritychallenge.net. That's the 45-day program. That's a more extensive, like everyday program that dives even deeper and gives you the tools to be able to rewire the mindset. Some people aren't ready for that. Some people aren't at that level. And then we also have the Thriver community, which is a 90-day program, which has those same tools inside there with a lot of other tools that we actually work through because people don't have a frame of reference of how to continue processing life and how to live by a code. So they're actually moving forward and they're just slipping back into generality. They're just slipping back into being alone and not having other people around them that are high performing, that are trying to pull and grow and continue to maximize. Also in the Thriver community for the 90 days, it's unlimited access to me with like one-on-ones, texting, stuff like that. So hopefully that was quick, but hopefully that gives you an answer. Does it make sense that he'd rage at his mom for needing help or getting sick and then told me we can have carriage? 100%. Like a lot of times it's very like narcissistic. Like I get upset when my wife was sick because she was inconvenient. And like there, like I didn't show up a ton whenever she was pregnant. Like that was like a big piece of it too. Of like, hey, like I wasn't around. Like I was there for like a week and back at work. Like she could figure it out. Like that was the thought process. I did not care. Like you have to understand that. In extreme anger, losing control, narcissism, or a separate mental health issue, I think the reason I had so much compassion is I believe the extreme anger much must be severe mental illness. So, but there's also the choice of like doing that. Like you didn't make that person have that anger. Like, and you didn't make that person stay in that anger when they could actually work on themselves, when they could actually get into therapy, when they could actually work on it. You need to understand like there's a piece of it that you have to be careful. Otherwise, you're going to start to take responsibility of it. Is it worth trying to correct the massive smear campaign? It's all lies. He manipulated them. No, it's not worth it. Just continue to live your life. Ignore it 100%. You're going to have people in your life that are going to come to you and you're going to talk to you about like, hey, is this actually true? And you explain to them and then like, oh, that makes sense. Those are going to be your friends. The people that just believe the smear, believe the lies, forget it. Like, don't even worry about them. Why they text you and when I replied, they don't answer back. What the heck is that? It means that you're still interested in them. Like in their mind, it means you're still interested in them. You responded. Now they've got the game. Like now you're questioning. Now you're wondering. Now you're going crazy. Like the anxiety piece is like ramping up because like, wait a second, they text me. Yeah, it's on purpose. Okay. Ex and kids hate me for 11 months. Parental alienation. Courts allow it. Oh gosh, I'm sorry. Narcissist is not a disease. It is a choice. It's a choice to be honest. And it's also a choice to abuse 100%. Can narcissist actually change? My ex discarded me for previous ex says he's working on himself. Typically that doesn't happen. And a lot of times it's just a lie. Normally, a narcissist will say they're working on themselves, and you'll see a change with a new supply just to make you feel bad and to further lock in the next person. Why would a narcissist encourage a former supply to just go and find someone else? I thought they never want you to move on and get over them. I'd be interested to see how that actually played out. A lot of times, a narcissist will encourage you to go find a new supply while they're like placating themselves, like making themselves like not look very good. Like, oh, like I'm not good enough for you, so like go to someone else. And then when you do, there's still something that pulls you back. A lot of times it's still not true. My narcissist ex told me to go find someone else because I stopped complying. Even though she was happy about me moving on, she moved on. My narcissist, yeah. A lot of times you'll see like them moving on to another person and like trying to tell you like, oh, go be with someone else, even though they don't actually either care or mean it. Okay. What does, if you need an answer quick, you may get it tomorrow after lunch. I don't know what that question was for. What goes through the mind after a breakup or a discard? Breakup or a discard. So they break up with you, then probably like the next thought typically is like, next, let me go ahead and call the next person. There's not really like a this big thing. I actually have oh yeah, with the text. Okay, that makes sense. I actually have a video on YouTube that talks about I don't remember the name of it. It's like the stages or like what happens like after they discard you, but from the narcissist side. I don't remember the exact title of it, but it kind of dives into that a little bit. He came back, love bombing, crying. I'm so confused now. So ignore all of it, and all you focus on is what's the change behavior. Now, what is he trying to do? Trying means nothing. What is he actually doing? Okay. Why do narcissists have a hard time with self-confidence, and self-love, and self-confidence? It deals back with the shame and with the incongruencies of the mask that they actually put up there. And honestly, it goes back to this big aspect of not being truthful, of just lying. I went to see that video is on TikTok. The one I was just referring to, it's all on YouTube. All my longer form videos are on YouTube. So I've got all these like 60-second stuff on like all the different platforms. YouTube is where we drop, it's like 11-minute videos like every single day. Okay. What do you recommend for parents, family, friends of a daughter married to a narcissist? Hopefully that she becomes aware that she's married to one, and then you provide as much support as possible. But the hard part is like, if she's not willing to actually make a move or to break it off, like nothing's going to happen. Goes to divorce with one, and then he's using our kids as pawns. A lot of times they will do that. They'll try to use your kids to be able to control you. Does a narcissist hurt daily due to what they're actually dealing with daily, or are they truly happy with this behavior? They're not truly happy. They're going off of highs. They're going off of, oh, this is love. This is the next high. This is the next thing. But it's not actually like real. They can't tap into true joy. Put it that way. Like gratitude, joy, like those things are like completely disconnected from the narcissist. Um, Absolutely. So if you guys haven't had, before I forget, before we get off here, like if you haven't had a chance to be able to check it out, escapetoxicity.com. That's our 7-day challenge for $7. It is just the opening aspect of helping you get an idea about narcissistic abuse. Like in the past couple days, we've had a lot of people sign up and that have said, hey, this is helping me just open my eyes. If you want to work with me one-on-one, you can go to rawmotivations.com. You can click the one-on-ones. You can see like how I actually partner with people, how we help people go from survivor to thriver, how we actually have them like extend and like grow and actually complete their goals and their dreams compared to like where you've been for such a long period of time. Do you think it's healthy? Do you think it's healthy to have a backup guy, or would that make me a narcissist? I don't think that's healthy at all because then you're not actually in a relationship. You're just like going back and forth. You don't even know who you are, and you're not actually working on a relationship. Why does a narcissist X new spouse narc all of a sudden are pretty silent and friendly? A lot of times it could be like a Hoover or trying to appear a certain way. Why narcissist? Because you blame you in a relationship that everything is your fault, because narcissists can't take the blame for it because that would invoke the shame, the accountability, and responsibility. It has to be your fault so they feel better about themselves. Um, daughter won't leave, just goes back for his quote unquote change. Yeah, she needs to be able to get aware. Like, even if you shared some of the videos or some of the content, sometimes that might help. But like, until her mindset changed, nothing's going to change. I would go to therapy with her because she needs to educate herself so she can leave. Oh yeah, going back to that. Why do narcissists stop looking at when you speak to them? Just stare past or look away from you? I don't have like a solid answer for that. There could be a couple different reasons. You're seeing a lot of victims that are having a hard time overcoming the abuse. Yeah, 100%. Like that's the main people that I talk to every single day. I talk to probably like 95% people that are survivors coming out of narcissistic abuse to help actually educate them of actually like going through and breaking out of the trauma bond. Like this is how I work with people one on one inside of our Thriver community, or like I work with people as they like start to get into some of our challenges. We've got escapetoxicity.com, we've got claritychallenge.com, we've got robmotivations.com. We've got a lot of different places where we try to partner and work with people every single day to break them free. Until you actually change your mindset, until you actually change the story that you believe, you will not get free from a toxic relationship. Like we started to break it down and systematize it for saying, hey, this is how we break free. Samantha, yeah, absolutely. Love to work with you. So give you an idea. Escapetoxicity.com. That's the 7-day challenge for $7. Gives you an overview, gives you an idea of what's actually going on. Narcissism, reactive abuse, like guilt and the shame, like all that kind of stuff. The clarity challenge goes more in depth of helping you rewire like the story that you're telling yourself. And then the Thriver community is where I partner with you for 90 days along with the challenges, helping you actually break free from that like 100%. They were like, hey, you start and you're going to show up and you're going to do the work. Like we will get you free. And we've seen giant success of that one-on-one combined with the challenges to actually break people free from the mindset that they're stuck in.